For those who desire optimal health and want every edge in the fight against disease, this book is one of the most important books to have in your personal library. It can be ordered from Amazon.com, ComparativeGuide.com, or most major bookstores.
Most people have no idea how to choose a good supplement. They walk into a store and their eyes glaze over as they attempt to make their selection. That's where this book becomes invaluable.
Dr. Northrup, physician and best-selling author, says, quote, "This is an invaluable tool to help people create an optimal supplementation program. I refer to it regularly."
Dr. Laz Bannock, author of Clinical Human Nutrition, says, quote, "Before you buy your supplements, I strongly advise you to consult this guide."
The author, Lyle McWilliam, is a biochemist and educator and a former member of Canadian Parliament. He's also served for Human Resources Development Canada, Environment Canada, and the British Columbia Science Council. It's important to note that his work is neutral and independent, as he is not affiliated with any specific nutritional manufacturer.
After serving in Canada's Parliament, he was invited at the behest of Canada's Federal Minister of Health to develop a new regulatory framework for natural health products in Canada. This experience became the creative seed for the Comparative Guide to Nutritional Supplements. Presently, McWilliam serves as a consultant and public advocate for the natural healthcare industry.
Most vitamin brands proudly claim 100% of the RDAs, but the ironic thing is that the RDAs are nothing more than the minimal amount necessary. They were originally set by the U.S. government during World War II to determine how little the military could put in their rations and still keep the soldiers from getting vitamin deficiency disorders like rickets from lack of vitamin D.
Or scurvy, like the sailors of old who didn't get enough vitamin C aboard ship. Much higher levels of vitamins and minerals are necessary to maintain long-term health. Today, we battle cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. These are degenerative diseases, not diseases of malnutrition like scurvy or rickets.
In 1998, the New England Journal of Medicine reported that heart disease now starts in childhood. The findings show that the disease affects about 30% of adolescents, 50% of young adults, and 75% of those ages 26 to 39.
I can tell you from personal experience that cancer and heart disease aren't limited to older people anymore. My first wife was diagnosed with breast cancer in her 30s. She died just a few years later. Cancer develops from ongoing damage to the DNA over the course of 10 to 20 years. So in my wife's case, since she was diagnosed at 39, that likely means her cancer started when she was in her 20s.
Cancer continues to be the second leading cause of death in North America. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 2 men will get cancer in their lifetime. Like stealth fighters, cancer and heart disease normally pass beneath our radar screens until well advanced.
For cancer and heart attacks, there is often no warning. Our bodies generally give no indication that we are heading down that path. In fact, for 1/3 of those who experience their first heart attack, that heart attack will not only be their first warning sign, but their last warning sign, as they will not survive. All of us grew up believing if we ate a reasonable diet, that would take care of our vitamin needs. But the new evidence, much of it in the last couple of years, is that vitamins can prevent the diseases we deal with.
The Harvard researchers' review of 38 years of scientific evidence concluded that the current North American diet is inadequate to support optimal health.
The AMA's new position is that supplementation is a prudent preventative measure against chronic disease. This about-face is a result of the massive amount of new research showing the effectiveness of vitamin supplementation. But the sad truth is that many doctors are still giving their patients information from the 1980s. Many tell their patients that all vitamins are the same, or that supplementation is not necessary. Most doctors have just not had time to study up on the latest research reported by their own medical association.
For example, a study conducted by Nobel Prize winner Dr. Linus Pauling found the death rate for women during his study was 46% lower for supplement users.
Vitamin C over 250 milligrams has been shown to reduce death from heart disease by 42%.
And 200 micrograms of chelated selenium showed a 50% decrease in cancer deaths.
Multiple studies show vitamin E reduces heart attacks, as much as a 77% reduction.
Research shows that to fight today's diseases, we need nutrients far above the minimal RDAs. Statistics tell us that 9 out of 10 of us will die of heart disease, cancer, or stroke. We have come to accept this as a fact of life, but it doesn't have to be that way. The truth is that today's top diseases are largely preventable.
Experts say that the majority of today's degenerative diseases can be prevented. By degenerative, we mean diseases which are slow to develop and can last for years. Degenerative diseases differ from infectious diseases like TB, polio, or AIDS in that degenerative diseases are not diseases we catch. Rather, they are a result of our body's slow degeneration over time.
Most people don't want to bother with prevention. They put their heads in the sand and wait until the inevitable happens, and then they look to the doctor for a cure. Yet an honest analysis of the statistics tells us that we cannot count on modern medicine to cure us.
The American Cancer Society uses a 5-year survival rate as the benchmark for evaluating the effectiveness of treatments, but their statistics can be misleading. For example, in my wife's case, had she lived a few months longer before dying, she would have met the 5-year survival criteria and statistically been counted as a cancer success while being dead at the same time.
You're saying a person could go through treatments for 5 years, then die the week after the 5-year anniversary of their diagnosis and still be counted on the books as a success?
That's right. Despite all the new cancer drugs we hear about, the truth is that the annual cancer death toll has risen 73% in the last 30 years.
Cancer is already the leading disease killer of everyone under the age of 65.
Including children. According to the CDC, if present trends continue, cancer is likely to replace heart disease as the leading cause of deaths in the next decade. According to Nobel Prize winner Dr. Pauling, the war on cancer is largely a fraud. Pauling argued that researchers are wasting precious time looking for the silver bullet to cure cancer. Research should focus on the cause of disease so we don't get cancer in the first place.
The top disease killers of today all have the same underlying cause. It's just the symptoms that differ. For example, if you have a heart attack, that isn't the cause of your heart disease, it's the symptom.
When my wife had tumors in her breast, they were not the cause of her cancer. They were the symptom. As amazing as it may sound, the actual causes of most of today's diseases are all the same. Cellular damage caused by free radicals. Free radicals are molecules with unpaired electrons. They are powerful agents that can tear apart other molecules in our cells and thus start a domino effect of cellular damage. When a molecule gives up an electron, it becomes oxidized. This is where the term oxidative damage comes from.
Just as a fire consumes everything in its path, free radicals can damage cells throughout the body unless quenched by antioxidants. Antioxidants like vitamin C and E inhibit the damaging effects of free radicals. They have extra electrons they can donate to bring the pairing back in balance. Antioxidants are nature's fire wardens. As long as we have sufficient antioxidants, the damage is kept in check.
Let's back up and explain what causes the free radicals in the first place. Cigarette smoking is one obvious cause. Just one cigarette generates billions of free radicals. Free radicals can also be generated by toxins, like pesticides and heavy metals in our drinking water, the pollutants in the air we breathe, even the hormonal effects of stress in our daily lives. Oxidative damage is unavoidable as its causes are virtually everywhere.
So how do we make sure we have sufficient antioxidants in our cells to combat the free radicals? Antioxidants are found in fruits, vegetables, nuts, beans, and even healthy oils like fish oils. Unfortunately, our foods have fewer of these antioxidants than they used to.
The use of chemical fertilizers instead of natural manuring and crop rotation, overused and depleted soils, early harvesting, commercial food processing and storage methods means that today's food supply is dramatically depleted of the nutrients that were plentiful in our grandparents' time.
Even those who eat totally organic do not consume enough antioxidants to combat the effects of today's toxic world. For example, to get the 400 international units of vitamin E that research has shown can reduce the risk of heart attacks, you'd have to eat over 25 pounds of spinach or 1.5 pounds of sunflower seeds every day.